good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming, and I know you're going to enjoy the show. Welcome to Neil and Noel. First scene is from Blithe's Spirit. Blithe number 1, because there are 2 scenes from Blithe's Spirit. Blithe number 1, it's a lovely spring evening, and Mr. and Mrs. Condamine are expectantly awaiting the arrival of their friends, the Bradmans, and Madame Arcadi, a medium whom they have invited to enact a seance. Mr. Condamine is an author planning to write a novel on the subject.
A dry martini, I think, don't you?
Oh, yes. I have a feeling this evening's going to be awful. You must promise not to catch my eye. If I giggle, and I'm likely to, it'll ruin everything.
You mustn't. You must be dead serious, and if possible, a little intense. We can't hurt the old girl's feelings, however funny she is.
Oh, this is lovely. Dry as a bone.
To my new book, The Unseen.
What a wonderful title.
If this evening's a success, I shall start on the first draft tomorrow.
Oh, how extraordinary it is.
What?
Oh, I don't know. Being in right at the beginning of something. Was Elvira a help to you when you were thinking something out?
Every now and then, when she concentrates. She didn't concentrate very often.
Does it still hurt when you think of her?
No, not really. Sometimes I almost wish it did. I feel rather guilty.
Oh, I wonder, if I died before you'd grown tired of me, would you forget me so soon?
What a horrible thing to say.
No, I think it was interesting.
Well, to begin with, I haven't forgotten Elvira. I remember her very distinctly indeed. I remember how fascinating she was, and how maddening. I remember her gay charm when she achieved her own way over something. And I remember how physically attractive she was. She was tremendously attractive.
Was she more physically attractive than I am?
What? Sorry. No,
That's a tiresome question.
that's a tiresome question, dear, and fully deserves the wrong answer.
Oh, you were really very sweet.
Well, I was devoted to Elvira. We were married for 5 years. She died. I missed her very much, and that was 7 years ago. I have now, with your help, my love, overcome the whole thing. That must be the Bradmans.
Oh, it might be Madame Arcadi.
No, she comes on her bicycle. She travels everywhere on her bicycle.
It's really very spirited of the old girl.
We're not late, are we? I just got back from the hospital in half an hour.
No, Madame Arcadi isn't here yet.
That must be her coming down the hill. I said I thought it was.
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to come. Please.
Oh, we've been looking forward to it. I feel really quite excited.
I guarantee that Violet will be good. I made her promise.
Oh, there wasn't any need. I'm absolutely thrilled. I've only seen Madame Arcadi 2 or 3 times in the village. I mean, I've never seen her do anything peculiar, if you know what I mean.
Dry martini?
By all means.
She certainly is a strange woman. Apparently she's been a professional in London for years.
It is funny, isn't it? I mean, anyone doing it professionally. Do you believe in it, Mrs. Condamine? Do you think there's anything really genuine about it at all?
Oh, I'm afraid not. But I do think it is interesting how easily people allow themselves to be deceived.
But she must believe in herself, mustn't she? Or is it the whole business a fake?
I suspect the worst. A real professional charlatan. That's what I'm hoping for anyhow. The character I'm planning for my book must be a complete imposter. That's one of the most important factors of the whole story.
Do you think she tells fortunes? I love having my fortune told.
I expect so. We really must be serious, you know, and pretend we believe implicitly. Otherwise she won't play.
I shall be as good as gold.
Oh, here she is.
She knows, doesn't she, about tonight? You're not going to surprise her.
No, it was all arranged last week.
I lean my bike up against that little bush. It will be perfectly all right if no one touches it.
How nice of you to have come all this way.
My dear Madame Arcadi.
Dr. Bradman,
I'm delighted to see you looking so well. This is my wife.
we are old friends. We meet coming out of the shops.
Would you like a cocktail?
If it's a dry martini, yes. If it's a concoction, no. Experience has taught me to be very wary of concoctions.
It is a dry martini.
How delicious. It was Wonderful, cycling through the woods this evening. I was deafened with bird song.
Oh, it's been lovely all day.
But the evening, the time, mark my words. Thank you. Cheers, cheers.
Don't you find it very tiring bicycling everywhere?
On the contrary, it stimulates
I
me.
must say I feel bicycling is very exhausting.
Steady rhythm, that's what counts. This is the best dry martini I've had for years. You're a very clever man. Anybody can write books, but it takes an artist to make a dry martini that's dry enough. I must tell you, my controller was quite scared the other day when we were talking. I could hear it in her voice. After all, she's only a child.
You always have a child as a control.
Yes, they're generally the best. Children are undoubtedly more satisfactory. Daphne has worked with me for years.
And she still goes on being a child? I mean, she doesn't show signs of growing any older?
Time values on the other side are utterly different from ours.
Do you feel funny when you go off into a trance?
In what way funny?
Oh, Mrs. Bradman doesn't mean funny in its comic implication. I think she meant odd or strange.
The word is an unfortunate choice.
I'm sure I'm very sorry.
It doesn't matter in the least. Please don't apologize.
When did you first discover you had these extraordinary powers?
When I was quite tiny. My mother was a medium before me, and so I had every opportunity of starting on the ground floor. I had my first trance when I was 4 years old.
Can you foretell futures?
Certainly not. I disapprove of fortune tellers most strongly.
Oh, really? Why?
Too much guesswork and fate mixed up with it. Even when the gift is genuine, it only very occasionally is.
Well, Madam Arcadi, the time is drawing near.
Who knows, it may be receding.
How very true.
I hope you feel in the mood, Madam Arcadi.
It isn't a question of mood, it's a question of concentration. Hi-ho, to work we go.
Is there anything you'd like us to do?
Do?
Hold hands or anything?
All that will come later. First, a few deep breaths of fresh air. You may talk if you wish. It will not disturb me in the least. This is the moment I always hate.
Are you nervous, Madame Arcadi?
Oh, yes. When I was a girl, I always used to be sick.
How fortunate that you grew out of it.
Little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall we have but brown bread and butter? I despise that. It doesn't rhyme at all. But Daphne loves it.
Who's Daphne?
Oh, Daphne is Madame Arcadi's control, a little girl.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course.
Well, how old is she?
Rising 7 when she died.
And when was that?
February the 6th, 1884.
Poor little thing.
She must be a bit long in the tooth by now, I should think.
You should think, Dr. Bradman, but I fear you don't. At least not profoundly enough.
Do be quiet, George. You'll put Madame Arcadi off.
Don't worry, my dear. I'm quite used to skeptics.
Please forgive me, Madam Arcadi.
It is of no consequence. Will you all sit round the table, please? Place your hand downward on it. Now there are 1 or 2 things I should like to explain, so will you all listen attentively?
Of course.
Okay. Quite all right, just leave it be, leave it be. I must ask you not to address me or move or do anything in the least distracting. Is that quite clear?
Perfectly.
Of course, I cannot guarantee that anything will happen at all. Daphne may be unavailable. She had a head cold very recently and was rather under the weather, poor child. Now then, are you ready to empty your minds?
Yes.
Good work. Is there anyone there? Is there anyone there? 1 rap for yes, 2 2 raps for no. Is there anyone there? Oh, shh. Is that you, Daphne? Is your cold better, dear? Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you doing anything for it? I'm afraid she is rather fretful. Is there anyone there who wishes to speak to anyone here? Ah, now we're getting somewhere. You say there is someone there who wishes to speak to someone here? Is it Dr. Bradman? Is it Mrs. Bradman? Is it Mrs. Condamine? Is it Mr. Condamine? There's someone there that wishes to speak to you, Mr. Condamine.
Tell them to leave a message.
I must ask you not to be so flippant.
Oh, Charles, how can you be so idiotic? You'll spoil everything.
Sorry, it slipped out.
Do you know anyone who has passed over recently?
Not recently, except my cousin in the civil service. And he wouldn't be wanting to communicate with me. We haven't spoken for years.
Are you Mr. Condamine's cousin in the civil service? I'm afraid we have drawn a blank. Can't you think of anyone else?
How disappointing. Just as we were getting on so nicely.
Well, I'm afraid there's nothing for it but for me to go into a trance. I hope to avoid it because it's so exhausting. However, what must be, must be.
Good God!
Oh, keep still, Charles.
Oh, it's trying to get away. I can't hold it.
Press down hard.
What should we do?
Leave it alone.
Who said that? Somebody said leave it alone.
Nonsense.
I heard it distinctly.
Oh, well, nobody else did they?
I never heard a sound.
Good evening, Charles.
Ventriloquism. That's what it is, ventriloquism.
What is the matter with you?
You must have heard that. One of you must have heard that.
Heard what?
You mean to sit there solemnly and tell me that none of you heard anything at all?
I certainly didn't.
Neither did I. I wish I had. I should love to hear something.
It's you playing the tricks, Charles. You're trying to frighten us.
I'm not. I swear I'm not.
It's difficult to think of what to say after 7 years. But I suppose good evening is as good as anything else.
Who are you?
Elvira, of course.
I can't bear this another minute. Get up, everyone. The evening entertainment is over.
Oh, Charles, just as we were beginning to enjoy ourselves. What on earth is the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter with me. I'm just sick of the whole business, that's all.
Did you hear anything that we didn't hear? Really?
Of course not. I was only pretending.
Oh, I knew you were. Oh, dear. Look at Madame Arcadi. What are we going to do with her?
Well, bring her round. Bring her round as soon as possible.
She's out all right.
Bring her round. Wake up. It's time to go home.
Here, go easy, old
Well,
man.
help me, Bradman. Wake up, Madame Arcadi. Little Tommy Tucker. Madame
She's coming
Arcadi.
round. She's coming round. Oh.
Little
Are you all right?
Well, that's that.
You are all
certainly,
right.
certainly I am. I never felt better in my life. What happened? Was it satisfactory?
Well, nothing much happened, Madame Arcadi, after you went off.
Something happened, all right. I can feel it. Oh. No poltergeist, at any rate. Any apparitions?
Not a thing.
Very curious. I feel as though something tremendous has taken place here.
Well, Charles pretended he heard a voice, just to frighten us.
It was only a joke.
A very poor one, I must say. Nevertheless, I am prepared to swear there is someone else in the room. Besides me, that is psychic.
I don't see how there can be, really, Madame Arcadi.
Oh, well, I do hope I haven't gone and released something. However, we are bound to find out within a day or two. If any manifestation should occur, you must let me know at once.
Of course we will.
Well, I really think I must be on my way now.
Wouldn't you like anything before you go?
No, thank you. I have some Ovaltine already in a saucepan. at home. It only needs hotting up.
It was awfully sweet of you to take so much trouble.
Good night, Mrs. Condamine. I'm so sorry. So little occurred. It's that cold of Daphne's. I expect, you know, what children are when they have something wrong with them. We must try again some other evening.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Good night, Mrs. Bradman.
It was thrilling, it really was. I felt the table absolutely shaking under my hands.
Good night, Doctor.
Madam Alcott.
Good night, everyone. Next time we must really put our backs into it.
Oh, be careful. She's gonna hit you. Be careful. Be careful.
Oh, I can't help it. I really can't. She's raving mad, of course. She's mad as a hatter.
But do you really think she believes?
Of course not. The whole thing's a put-up job. I must say, though she shoots a more original line than they generally do.
I should think she's probably half convinced herself by now.
Possibly. The trance was genuine enough, but that, of course, is easily accounted for.
Hysteria.
Yes, a form of hysteria, I should imagine.
It has been a thrilling evening. I shall never forget. It was sweet of you to include us.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Oh, we'll let you know if we find any poltergeists wandering around.
I should never forgive you if you didn't.
Come along. Good night.
Good night.
Come along,
Here's my
darling.
darling.
Yes, sir.
Our next scene is from Blithe Spirit. It immediately follows the preceding scene with a different cast and in 2 parts. Enjoy.
Well, darling,
Well,
would you say the evening had been profitable?
yes, I suppose so.
I must say it was extremely funny at moments.
Yes, certainly was.
What's the matter? You seem odd somehow. Do you feel quite well?
Perfectly. I think I'll have a drink. Would you like one?
No, thank you, dear.
Oh my God!
Charles?
Hello, Charles, dear.
Elvira, it's really true. You're here.
I am.
Charles? Darling, Charles? What are you talking about?
Are you a ghost?
I suppose I must be. It's all terribly confusing.
Charles? What do you keep looking over there for?
Don't you see?
See what?
Elvira!
Elvira?
Elvira, this is Ruth. Ruth, this is Elvira.
Come and sit down, darling.
You mean to tell me you can't see her? She's there, right in front of you. Look.
Dad, what's happened to you?
Oh,
If this is a joke, dear, it's gone quite far enough.
what the hell am I to do?
I think it might be at least a little more pleased to see me. After all, you conjured me up.
I did nothing of the sort.
Nonsense, of course you did. That awful child with the cold came and told me that you wanted to see me urgently.
Oh, I've gone mad. I've gone raving mad.
Relax, darling.
I shall never be able to relax again as long as I
Now
live.
sit down. I want you to relax. You can't relax standing up.
African natives can. They can stand on one leg for hours.
I don't happen to be an African native.
You don't happen to be a what?
An African native.
What's that got to do with it? Oh, Charles, let's go to bed.
Get rid of her, Charles, then we can talk in peace.
That's a thoroughly immoral suggestion. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
What is there immoral about that?
I wasn't talking to you.
Well, who were you talking to then?
Oh, God, Elvira, of course.
To hell with Elvira.
There now, she's getting cross.
I don't blame her.
I gather you've probably got something to do with the characters in your book.
Don't be silly. What kind of, could I have? What kind of character?
I don't know. You know what? I can see her distinctly under the piano with a horse.
But Ruth.
I am not going to stay here and arguing any longer.
Hooray!
Oh, shut up.
How dare you speak to me that way?
Listen, Ruth, please listen.
No, I will not stay here anymore. Think of any more of this nonsense. I'm going up to bed. You can come in and say goodnight to me later if you like.
Oh, that's big of her, I must say.
Oh, be quiet. You're behaving like a gutter snipe.
A gutter snipe? Ah,
Ruth, please.
all I have to say, good night, Charles.
Oh, Ruth.
That was one of the most enjoyable 10 minutes I have ever spent.
Oh, Elvira, how could you?
Poor Ruth.
This is obviously a hallucination, isn't it? What am I to do? Where have you come from?
Do you know, it's very peculiar, but I've sort of forgotten.
Are you here to stay indefinitely?
I don't know that either. It's all a question of adjusting yourself. Anyhow, it's horrid of you to be so unwelcoming and disagreeable.
Now look here, Elvira. I've been married to Ruth for 5 years. You've been dead for 7.
Not dead, Charles. Passed over. It's considered vulgar to say dead where I come from.
Passed over, then?
Now that I'm here, the least you can do is make a pretense of being amicable about it.
Of course, my dear.
I don't believe you love me anymore.
I shall always love the memory of you.
No, I really am a little hurt. You called me back, and at great inconvenience I came, and you've been thoroughly churlish ever since I arrived.
Believe me, Elvira, I most emphatically did not send for you. There must be some mistake.
Well, somebody did. I remember playing backgammon with this sweet old Oriental gentleman. I think his name was Genghis Khan. Then I arrived in this room.
Well, you must find out whether you're going to stay or not.
I don't see how I can.
You must know somebody else over there besides Genghis Khan.
Oh, Charles.
What is it?
I feel like I want to cry, but I don't think I'm able to.
What do you want to cry for?
It's seeing you again, and you being so irascible, just as you always used to be.
I don't mean to be irascible, Elvira. Oh, Elvira,
What is it, darling?
I really do feel strange seeing you again.
That's better.
What's better?
Your voice is kinder.
Was I ever unkind to you when you were alive?
Often.
Oh, how can you? I'm sure that's an exaggeration.
I loved you very much.
I loved you too. Oh no, I can't touch you. Isn't that awful?
Perhaps it's just as well if I'm going to stay here for any length of time.
I suppose I shall wake up eventually.
Can you feel anything?
Only a gentle breeze through my hair.
Well, that's better than nothing.
I suppose I shall wake up eventually and they'll put me in an asylum.
Don't worry about that. Just relax.
Poor Ruth.
To hell with Ruth!
Good morning, Charles.
You're very glacial this morning.
Are you surprised?
Frankly, yes. I expected more of you.
Oh, really?
I really don't see what I've done that's so awful.
You behaved abominably last night. You wounded me and insulted me.
I was the victim of an aberration.
Nonsense, you were drunk. You had 4 strong dry martinis before dinner and then 2 double brandies later. Of course you were drunk.
So that's your story, is it?
And you refused to come to bed, and finally, when I came down at 3 in the morning, I found you in an alcoholic coma on the sofa with your hair all over your face.
I was not in the least bit drunk, Ruth. Something happened to me. You really must believe it.
Nonsense.
I swear to you that during that seance, I was convinced that I heard Elvira's voice.
But nobody else did.
I saw her distinctly and talked to her. After he had gone up to bed, we had quite a cozy little chat.
And you seriously expect me to believe that you are drunk?
I know I wasn't drunk. I know what it is. You're scared.
Scared? Rubbish. What is there to be scared of?
Elvira, we were talking too much about Elvira. It's dangerous to have somebody in your mind when you're dabbling with the occult.
Well, she certainly wasn't strongly on my mind.
Well, she wasn't mine.
She was she? You seem to forget that you gratuitously insulted me.
I did not.
You called me a gutter snipe, and you told me to shut up. And when I quietly suggested that we should go to bed, you said, with a most disgusting leer, that it was an immoral suggestion.
I was talking to Elvira.
If you were, I can only say that it conjures up a fragrant picture of your first marriage.
My first marriage was perfectly charming. And I think it's in the worst possible taste for you to sneer at it.
You know, I'm not nearly so interested in your first marriage. It's your second marriage that is absorbing me at the moment. It seems to be on the rocks.
Please, Ruth, be reasonable. I wasn't pretending. I really did believe that I saw Elvira. And when I heard her voice, I was appalled.
Well, you put up with it for 5 years.
Naturally, when I saw her, I had the shock of my life.
But you couldn't have seen her.
I know I couldn't have, but I did.
Well then, there's obviously something wrong with you.
Exactly, there is something wrong with me. That's why I've been imploring your sympathy.
Well, perhaps you should see a nerve specialist.
I am not in the least bit neurotic. I never have been.
A psychoanalyst, then.
Oh, I refuse to endure months of humiliation, only to be told at the end of it that at the age of 4, I was in love with my rocking horse.
You've absolutely ruined the border down by the sundial. It looks like a mixed salad.
Oh my God!
What's the matter now?
She's here again.
Who's here again?
Elvira.
Elvira? Pull yourself together. Don't be so absurd.
It's all those nasturtiums. They're so vulgar.
I like nasturtiums.
Oh, they're all right in moderation, but in a mass like that, they look beastly.
Ruth, help me. Help me, Ruth, please.
What did you mean about nasturtiums?
Oh, never mind about that. Elvira is here. You have to help me.
You have been having quite a nice scene, haven't you? I could hear you all the way down the garden.
Please mind your own business.
If your behaving like a lunatic isn't my business, then nothing is.
I expect it was about me, wasn't it? I know I ought to feel sorry, but I'm not. I'm delighted.
How can you be so inconsiderate?
Inconsiderate? I like that, I must say.
Ruth, darling, please.
You're trying to upset me.
Ruth, please.
Oh, don't come near me.
Let her have a nice cry. It'll do her good.
You're utterly heartless.
Heartless?
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Elvira.
Well, go on talking to Elvira then. Talk to her until you're blue in the face, but don't talk to me.
Help me, Elvira.
How?
Make her see you or something.
I'm afraid I couldn't manage that. It's technically the most difficult business. And if she had a grain of sympathy for you, she believed what you told her.
How could you expect anybody to believe this?
Charles,
Yes, dear?
I'm awfully sorry I was so cross.
But my dear,
I understand everything now. I do, really.
you do?
Yes, of course I do.
Look out, she's up to something.
Will you be quiet?
Of course, darling. We'll all be quiet, won't we? We'll be as quiet as little mice.
Ruth, dear, listen.
Yes. You know, I want you to come upstairs with me and go to bed.
The way that woman harps on bed is nothing short of erotic.
I'll deal with you later.
Oh, whenever you like, darling. Now, come along.
Ruth, dear, I'd really rather not go up to bed in the middle of the morning.
My Charles, how you've changed.
Don't be disgusting.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I didn't mean to be.
What are you up to?
Well, I'm not up to anything. I just want you to go quietly to bed and wait there until Dr. Bradman comes. Now come, dear.
She'll have you in a straitjacket before you know where you are.
Help me, please, help me.
Oh, my dear, I would with pleasure, but I can't think how.
I can. Listen, Ruth,
Yes, dear.
if I promise to go to bed, will you let me stay here for 5 minutes longer?
Very well.
Good, come sit down. Now listen carefully, Ruth. My first wife, Elvira, is in this room.
Yes, dear.
I know you don't believe it, but I intend to prove it to you. Promise you'll do what I ask?
That all depends what it is.
Ruth, do you see that vase of flowers? Elvira will now carry it around the room and back again. You will, Elvira, won't you, just to please me?
I don't see why I should. You've been quite insufferable to me ever since I materialized.
Please.
All right, just this once.
Now, Ruth, watch carefully.
Very well, dear.
Go on, Elvira. Carry it around the room and back again.
Oh! 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 How dare you, Charles? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
What on earth for?
It's a trick, all part of some horrible plan.
It isn't. Elvira, do something else for God's sake.
Certainly, anything to oblige.
You want to get rid of me. You're trying to drive me out of my mind.
Don't be so silly.
You're cruel and sadistic, and I'll never forgive you. I'm not going to put up with this anymore.
You must believe it. You must.
Let me go immediately.
That was Elvira. I swear it was.
Let me go. Charles, this is madness. Sheer madness. Some form of hypnotism. Swear to me it's only that.
Hypnotism, my foot!
Ah!
Waiting in the wings. Noel Coward's love of the theater and for the people who work at it is everywhere apparent in Waiting in the Wings. The Wings is a small charity home for retired actresses over the age of 60. Now, through misfortune, whatever, they've been reduced to poverty. However, in this play, gaiety is uppermost. Yet, grief is met with that bravura and curious courage so typical of those who work in the theater.
I'm perished to the bone, and it's no good pretending that I'm not.
Do you think we'll ever get it?
Get what, dear?
The Solarium Lounge.
Well, the letter went off to the committee over 2 weeks ago.
Well, then it probably came up at Friday's meeting.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, it doesn't matter all that much anyway. A little while ago, none of us had ever heard of a solarium. We've all got one foot in the grave anyway.
Well, excuse me while I slip into my shroud.
Well, even if they say yes, I shall be dead and gone before they get around to it. My heart has been pounding again, and I hardly slept a wink last night.
Oh, you know perfectly well, Estelle, that that's only indigestion. Dr. Javon's told you so. You eat far too much, far too quickly.
Well, I like eating.
That east wind comes straight across the valley and cuts you in two.
The committee could well afford it if they chose. Perry told me so himself.
Well, as official secretary to the fund, he had no right to. That young man talks too much.
I suppose he'll be down as usual this afternoon.
Of course he will. It's Sunday. Also, he'll want to come today because he'll want to welcome
Almina!
Well, you know what I mean.
In order to welcome whom?
We've got a new addition to our cozy little family arriving this afternoon.
Why wasn't I told? Who is it?
Oh dear, the cat's out of the bag now with a vengeance. I suppose we'd better tell.
What are you all talking about? Why all this mystery?
It's Lotta Bainbridge.
Lotta Bainbridge?
Yes.
Lotta Bainbridge coming here?
We all thought, knowing that you and she aren't exactly the best of friends, that it would be better not to say anything at all.
Well, how long have you known?
Perry told us last Sunday.
You mean you were all prepared to let me meet her face to face without even warning me?
Well, old Dora, her dresser, who's been with her for years, is leaving to get married.
I am not the least interested in where she lives. I only know I find your combined conspiracy of silence difficult to forgive.
It was only that we didn't want to upset you.
Do you seriously think it would have upset me less to find her here, in this house, without being prepared?
Don't be angry with us, May. After all, it was a long time ago, the quarrel, I mean.
There was no quarrel, my dear. You have been misinformed.
Well, whatever it was.
I have not spoken to Lotta Bainbridge in 30 years, and I have no intention of doing so now.
Oh, May, dear, it's over and done with. Don't be like that.
Oh, one of you had better explain the situation to her when she arrives, and don't be afraid she won't understand. She'll understand. Perfectly.
Well, that's that, isn't it? I suppose we really ought to have told her. They'll probably settle down together in time. They can't go on not speaking forever. But the next few weeks are going to be hell. Who was it that said there's something beautiful about growing old? Whoever it was, I have news for him. Since I've been here, I somehow can't remember not being old. Perhaps that's something having to do with the character parts you played for so long. I was an ingenue for years. I was very pretty, and my eyes were enormous. What started it? The feud with May? Oh, come off of it. You weren't toddling home from school with your pencil box in 1918. Well, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what I was doing. 8 times a week. I was in Miss Mouse at the Adelphi, and I had a number in the last act called Don't Play the Fool with the Schoolgirl. It stopped the show. As far as I can remember, it was the notices that stopped the show. That'll be Lotta Bainbridge. A little earlier than I expected. I'll go to the door, but I hate welcoming new arrivals. They always look so lost. It's nothing to the way they look after they've been here a few months. Why do you say that? You know you don't really mean it. Perhaps I was trying to be funny. Miss Bainbridge, welcome, Miss Bainbridge.
Miss Craver.
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, this is all very exciting. Rather like going to a new school. Except, of course, that at a new school, one doesn't meet old friends. We're not exactly old friends, but I remember you many years ago singing a most enchanting song, dressed as a schoolgirl. I've forgotten the name of the play.
It was Miss Mouse at the Adelphi.
Miss Mouse, of course it was. And this is my beloved Dora. She's going to be married in a month's time. We don't talk about being separated much because we burst into tears. Dora, why don't you go upstairs and do just a little unpacking for me as a sort of final gesture?
It's second door to the right along the passageway.
Thank you.
Oh dear, I was really quite nervous when I came in, like a first night. But I feel better now.
May Davenport is here, you know.
Yes. Yes. I know. I wonder who painted that picture of dear Ellen Terry. It's not very good, is it? But even a flat painting can't quite subdue her radiance, can it?
It's awfully nice to have you here, Miss Bainbridge. We're all terribly thrilled.
Well, thank you, my dear. I've tried not to think too much in the last few weeks. It seemed more sensible. I'm very fortunate to have this place to come to. I suppose we all are, really.
That's a matter of opinion.
Oh, shut up, Elmina. It's quite a pleasant life here, really. And sometimes we go to the movies in Maidenhead and have tea at the Picture House Cafe. And the bus stop is only 5 minutes walk.
You both know, don't you, that May Davenport and I have not been on speaking terms for many, many years.
Yes, we do. But don't worry, it'll all work out in the long run.
The situation is not without humor. It is certainly ironic that fate should play so much of a part in arranging for May and me to spend our final days under the same roof. Personally, I can't help seeing the funny side of it. But I doubt if May does.
She doesn't. Not at the moment, but she probably will in time.
Her sense of humor was never one of her outstanding characteristics. All I want to explain to you is that I'm fully armed with olive branches. I couldn't bear to think that my coming here was in any way an embarrassment to you. I shall do my best, but please don't blame me too much if I fail. May is fairly implacable.
I suppose it would be too much to ask what caused the feud in the first place.
Yes, Almina, it would. In any case, it would be redundant, because I am well aware that you know the whole story.
If ever I've heard a cue for an exit, Almina, that's it. Come on.
See you later, Miss Bainbridge.
Au revoir, Miss Mouse.
Oh, I wasn't Miss Mouse. That was poor Dolly Drexel. Actually, it's the last thing she did before she went off her rocker. You remember her, don't you?
Vaguely.
China blue eyes and no middle register.
How's the room, Dora?
Quite nice, dear. It's a bit chintzy, but there's a pretty view and it's quiet. I can't go away and leave you here alone. I thought I could, but I can't.
Oh, don't talk nonsense, Dora. Of course you can. You must. There's nothing else to be done anyhow. You know that as well as I do.
I can't bear it after all these years. I just can't bear it.
Oh, please, pull yourself together, my dear, for my sake as well as your own.
You and me will find a flat somewhere and go along as we always have. I can't leave you in this sort of workhouse.
It isn't a workhouse, Dora. It's a very smart home for retired actresses. And in a few days, when the first strangeness has worn off, I'm sure I shall be far happier and far less lonely than I should be in a flat. And you couldn't have stayed with me much longer anyhow, because I couldn't afford it. Please, please, dear Dora, don't cry anymore. It isn't nearly as bad as it looks. You've promised, remember, to come down and see me next Sunday fortnight.
Yes, I know.
I shall look forward to it, and I shall write to you first thing tomorrow to tell you how my first meeting with May went off.
Horrible old cat.
Oh, now, she may have mellowed with the years.
I'll give her mellow if I get within spitting distance of her.
Oh, Dora, darling old Dora, I want you now to go out of this house, get in the car, and drive away. please don't let either of us say another word. I'm beginning to feel a little tremulous myself. Please, please, dearest old friend, away with you.
The Odd Couple. We're going to switch over to Neil Simon and his plays. The Odd Couple premiered on Broadway in 1965. It starred Walter Matthau and Art Carney. In 1985, 20 years later, Simon revised the play for a female cast, based on the same storyline and the same lead characters. It starred Rita Moreno, Sally Struthers, and the poker game was turned into Trivial Pursuit.
Jesus, I hated being 17 until I got to be 35. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hello? Just a minute. Mickey, it's your husband.
Hello, Stanley. Did you make dinner? What'd you have? Lamb chops. Very good, Stan.
Stanley can make lamb chops?
He boils them in water. Who? She didn't show up tonight. What's wrong? You're kidding. All right, I will.
What's the matter?
Florence is missing.
Oh my God!
She wasn't home at all today. She didn't show up for her yoga class. Nobody knows where she is. Stan just spoke to Sydney.
I'm gonna call Sydney. Hello, Sydney. Olive, do you have any idea where Florence could be? She what? Why? No, I didn't know. All right, listen. The minute I hear anything, I'll give you a call. Okay, goodbye. They broke up.
They were such a happy couple. What happened?
The man wants out.
Oh, she's gonna go to pieces. I know Florence. She's gonna try something crazy. She'll kill herself. You hear what I'm saying? She's gonna go out and try to kill herself. What did he say?
He said she went out to kill herself.
Oh, what did I tell you? Isn't there some place we can go look for her?
Where would you look for a suicidal person who wants to live? That must be Florence. I'll let her in. Just play it nice and easy and say nothing.
That's right. That's how we talk to those people out on the ledge. Gentle and soothing, like a priest.
All right, ask me a Trivial Pursuit question. Movies, entertainment.
Hi, Olive.
Hello, Florence.
Hey, Mickey. Name 3 actors who played Charlie Chan on the screen.
Sorry I'm late.
What was the question?
Name 3 actors who played Charlie Chan.
Name 3 actors who played who?
Charlie Chan. Charlie Chan. How many times do I have to say it? Charlie Chan.
Anybody call about me tonight?
Not that I can recall. Why? Were you expecting a call?
No. Who would call about me? Gee, it's a nice view from up here. What is it, 12 floors?
No, it's only 11. It's still early. Want to play, Flo?
And it's your favorite category, movies.
I wouldn't know one movie from another tonight.
Oh, you know this one. Name 3 actors who played Tarzan in the movie.
Jesus, Charlie Chan. Charlie Chan.
Sidney Tola, Warner Oland, and Peter Ustinov.
What picture did Claude Rains and Betty Davis...
Mr. Skeffington. I think I'm going to go take a little walk.
Where are you going to walk this time of night?
I don't know. Along the river would be nice.
The river?
You heard something, didn't you?
No.
Yes, you're afraid I'm going to try something because Sydney dumped me after 14 years. A dirty bastard. Oh, I gotta go.
No, Flo, don't do it, please.
No, don't stop me. Don't try to stop me.
Florence, we're your friends. You can speak to us.
I can't live without him. Oh, there's no point in going on. Just leave me alone, will you? I'll work it out. Just please, leave me alone. Oh God, on my stomach.
What's the matter with your stomach?
It's all right. I'm all right. I didn't take anything, I swear.
You swear on your children's life?
No, on my husband's.
You hear that? She took pills.
Just a few, that's
How many?
all.
What kind of pills?
I don't know, little green ones. I just grabbed anything I could out of Sydney's cabinet. Oh, I must have been crazy.
I'm gonna call Sidney. He'll check the cabinet.
No, don't call him. If he hears I took a whole bottle of pills.
A whole bottle? A whole bottle of pills?
And you don't even know what kind?
What's the difference? She took the whole bottle.
Maybe they were vitamins.
Just don't call Sydney. Promise me you won't call Sydney.
Open the window. Get her some air.
Oh, just let me sit down.
You're not sitting down until we get those pills out.
They're out. They're out.
When did they come out?
On my way here, I stopped for a pizza on Broadway. I threw up in the elevator. I'm sorry. They'll think a dog did it. But for 12 hours, I've been crying straight. I don't know where all these tears are coming from. It's like the same tears going around and around in circles.
Oh, Florence, we've been worried sick about you. Where have you been all day?
I don't know. I just wandered around the city, ended up at MoMA. We had a nice conversation with the security guard. Oh, I'm so ashamed. You please forgive me, girls.
It's okay, Florence. We understand. Do you have the number for the suicide hotline?
I'll get it from Florence. She has an account there.
Oh, I gotta go. Flo, I'm gonna call you later. Good luck, Olive.
Oh, Florence, 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 Florence.
I know. What am I gonna do, Olive? The terrible thing is, I still love him. But I knew something was coming. In the middle of the night, I'd creep into the bathroom and say, please, God, help me save my marriage. Then I'd hear Sydney in the bedroom saying, please, God, make her shut up.
Here, take these aspirin.
But I never once tried to change him. He wears a toupee 2 sizes too big. He looks like an English sheepdog. I never said a word.
Here, drink them down with brandy.
And now he's into cowboy boots. 5'3½". He wears cowboy boots. They come up to his knees. He looks ridiculous. Oh, this isn't helping me any.
Because you won't relax. Have you always been this tense?
Since I was a baby, I could chew through a thick sirloin steak just with my gums. Oh, I do terrible things, Olive. I cry, I panic, I get hysterical, and I take advantage of you. I abuse our friendship. I know I drive you crazy.
No, you don't.
Yes, I see you grit your teeth when I talk to you. You used to have much longer teeth.
Drink your brandy.
I don't think I can. It doesn't go down.
I'll get you a plunger. Come on, Florence. Drink the brandy. You'll feel better.
I don't want to get divorced and change my whole life. Tell me what to do. You've been divorced. What did you do to get through it?
I drank for 4 days and 5 nights. I ate Haagen-Dazs mocha almond fudge every night. I gained 14 pounds. 7 on each hip. I looked like I was carrying laundry in my pockets. but I got through it. And you're gonna start a whole new life and stand on your own 2 feet.
You're right. I was a good bookkeeper when I got married. Maybe I'll ask for my old job back.
Who'd you work for?
Sydney! Oh, dumb idiot. I hate me.
Oh, no, you don't. You love you.
I happen to know I hate my guts.
Florence, I've never seen someone so in love. If you had 2 more legs, you'd take yourself out dancing.
I thought you were my friend.
I am. That's why I can talk to you like this. I love you almost as much as you do.
Then help me.
Okay, tonight you'll sleep here. Tomorrow you'll go home, pack up all your stuff, and move in here with me.
Oh, but won't I be in the way?
Of course you will.
Then why do you want me to move in with you?
Because I don't like living by myself either. Because I get lonely. That's why.
But you have so many friends. I never thought of you as being lonely.
Friends go home at 11 o'clock. Come on, Florence. I'm proposing to you. What do you want? A goddamn ring? Hello? Sydney!
I'm not here!
Yes, she's here.
I told you not to tell me. Why did you tell me
Yes,
that?
I agree with that. I think she's doing very well. You don't want to talk to her? Yes, I understand. Okay, goodbye.
Then why did he call?
He wanted to make sure you were all right. He said he loves you very much and that you're a wonderful wife and mother.
But
you're crazy as a bedbug.
yeah, is that what that short hairless cowboy said? Well, you know what? He finally made me realize my marriage is over.
You want some sleeping pills?
Oh, I couldn't get them down.
Well, you could suck on them all night.
I don't think I believed them until just now. It's really over.
Come on, Florence, let's go to bed. I have another career besides you.
I will. I just want to start rearranging our life. Get things in order. Do you have a pad? I want to start making some menus, and you'll appreciate in the morning when I clean up all of this junk. See furniture you never knew you had.
You're not going to do anything big like putting up wallpaper, are you?
5 minutes, that's all, I promise. Olive.
What?
I never thought of you as being lonely. It must have been awful for you living here without anyone else.
Well, we'll see.
Gingerbread Lady by Neil Simon. It's a bittersweet tragic comedy in which the main character, Evie Mirror, has just returned home from a 10-week stay in a rehab facility to overcome her alcoholism. As the play opens, she is welcomed by her friends with their own problems. Toby, an overly vain woman, fearing the loss of her looks, and Jimmy, a homosexual actor in fear of not working.
Who is it?
It's us. We're home.
Wait a second, I'm so damn nervous. Oh, look at me, I'm shaking.
Don't complain to me. I just spent 4 hours on the Long Island Expressway.
If you look out the window, you'll see a very rich cab driver.
Yeah, where is she, though? Where's Effie?
She's saying hello to a neighbor. I thought you were going to clean this place up.
I tried rearranging the furniture, but it always came out looking like the Passaic bus terminal. Is she all right?
Yes, but you're going to be shocked when you see her. She's lost 42 pounds.
Oh, my God, 42 pounds? You sure?
I will tell you right here and now that there is nothing more depressing in this world than a rest home for drunks.
I never thought she'd last it out. I'm so nervous. What do I say to her? How do I act before her?
You hug her, and you love her, and most of all, you trust her.
I'll kill her if she ever takes another drink. Where the hell is she?
I'm out here, I'm out in the hall. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, say it. I'm gorgeous, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, who is it? She was this beautiful woman.
It better be me, or I'm out $2,700.
Am I allowed to hug you?
Oh, you're allowed.
It's true. It's gone. All 42 pounds are gone. It's like talking to a stranger. Somebody introduced me.
Jimmy, this is Evelyn Mira. She used to sing in clubs.
That fat lady who used to drink a lot and use foul language? Nah, that's a nice skinny woman who you could take anywhere.
Well, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be right here. Oh, it's so good to be home. Jesus, it looks different when you're sober.
Will you sit down? Jimmy, she won't sit down. She stood all the way here in the cab coming home.
You must be starved. When did you eat last?
Well, I had chicken salad in July. I'm not hungry. The doctors?
The doctors told me she worked harder than any patient there. Even the nurses were so proud of her.
It's the truth. I was the best drunk on the floor.
Let me make you a tongue and Swiss on toast and a pot of coffee. I'll be 5 minutes.
And I thought my mother lived in Chicago. Hey, leave me alone. I tortured myself to lose 42 pounds.
Jimmy, stop it. You'll get Evie upset.
I'm worried about her. If someone doesn't make it for her, she'll never eat.
There's plenty of time to eat next year. I'm home. Let me enjoy myself.
Who is stopping you? She look all right to you? Are there any pills she needs to take?
Just a mild sedative to help her sleep.
If you doctors want to be alone, I can go back to Happy Valley. What were you whispering about?
We weren't whispering, we're talking softly.
You were whispering.
Jimmy's worried about you, that's all.
Well, if he's worried, let him worry a little louder. Every time a doctor whispers in the hospital, the next day there's a funeral.
I'm sorry.
It took 10 weeks to cure me. And 5 minutes. And I'm home for 5 minutes, and I'm feeling crazy.
Jimmy didn't mean it, darling.
I'm sorry, Effie. All right? I'm nervous. I'm going to say the wrong thing, and I don't know how to act in front of somebody who just got home from the cure 5 minutes ago.
You act natural, the way you always acted with me.
This is the way I always acted with you.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I started to drink. Jimmy, I'm so sorry. Maybe I am a little nervous. Don't pay any attention to me. Jimmy, you know what I love more than anything else in the world? A tongue and Swiss on toast and a pot of coffee.
Do you mean it?
Well, I dreamt of it every night. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I first dreamt of sex. then a tongue and Swiss on toast.
I'll bring you the sandwich. The rest I can't help you with.
And what can I do, Evie?
Well, you can stop looking yourself in the mirror.
My, you are nervous, aren't you?
Oh, I hated that place so much. It was a goddamn prison. And then when it came time to leave, I was afraid to go. I suddenly felt comfortable there. I thought I'd have a million things to do once I got home. I'm here 6 minutes and I'm bored to death.
You've got to give yourself time, Evie. Then you're going to start your life all over again, and you're going to grow up and be as wonderful and beautiful as I am.
What's that crap you're putting on your face?
It's a special crap that protects the skin. As long as you've known me, have you ever seen a single pore on my face?
I've never even seen your face. Who are you anyway?
A woman can never be too pretty. It's her feminine obligation. I love my looks. Don't you?
Oh, if you went bald and lost your teeth, you would still be gorgeous. Leave yourself alone.
I can't. Isn't it terrible? I'm obsessed.
You know, you remind me of the psycho in the room next to me. She used to shampoo her eyelashes every night. Thought all the doctors were in love with her. An 87-year-old virgin screwball.
What a sweet story. Aren't you going to unpack or something?
Unpack? Unpack what? A pair of pajamas and a bottle of mineral oil? Besides, I'm never going into that bedroom again. I ruined half my life in there.
I understand perfectly. I wish I could stay with you tonight, but I have to meet Martin at Pavillon for dinner. It's business. I distract the clients.
Well, some friend you are.
Don't say it like that. I'm a wonderful friend. You want me to be hurt?
Oh, don't pout. You'll crack your makeup and start an avalanche on your face.
Anyway, Jimmy can stay here with you tonight.
What are you talking about? Jimmy has an audition at 5:45.
You said you'd be free tonight.
I was until the auction came up. I have to eat, you know.
I've got to go or I'll be late. If you need me, I'll be at Martin's office and then at Pavillon. Can I send you anything?
How about the head waiter?
Armand? He doesn't go for women.
Send him anyway. I'll find something for him to do.
Effie, this may be one of the happier days of my life.
Toby, if you didn't come to pick me up today, I
told you, I'm always way the hell out on Long Island on Thursday mornings. Tell me once more how pretty I am.
Helen of Troy couldn't hold your compact.
I believe you, Evelyn. I'll call you from the restaurant. Effie, say it just once more. What you promised me in the cab.
I will be a good girl forever and ever.
Oh, Christ, I'm going to cry. There goes my makeup.
You skinny bastard, I'm so proud of you.
Is that why you didn't visit me once in 10 weeks?
I can't go to hospitals, you know that. I passed out in hospitals.
Well, it wasn't a hospital. It's a sanitarium for drunks.
They had white shoes and cotton balls. That's enough for me. Didn't I call you almost every day? Didn't I send you popular novels?
Right, Queen Alexandra and her hemophiliac son. Couldn't you send me a sex manual, for Christ's sakes?
I'm so sorry I was nice to you. Next time, I'll send you a get sober telegram.
Oh, God, Jimmy. You don't know how good it is to have somebody worried about you.
Well, I hate it. I have enough trouble worrying about me. I'm 40 years old, and I can't get a job with or without clothes. I gotta go.
Jimmy, give me a kiss. Jimmy!
What?
Oh, nothing. I just love you, and I want to thank you for being here with me tonight.
Plaza Suite by Neil Simon. It is a summer evening in the late 50s at the Plaza Hotel. The scene revolves around a married couple, Roy and Norma Hubley, on their daughter Mimsy's wedding day. Mimsy has locked herself in the bathroom and refuses to come out despite her parents' frantic attempts to cajole her into attending her wedding.
Mimsy, this is your father speaking. I think you know I'm not a violent man. I can be stern and strict, but I've never once been violent. Except when I'm angry, and I'm really angry now, Mimsy.
Mimsy, this is your mother speaking. It's true, darling. Your father is very angry.
This is your father again, Mimsy. If you have a problem you want to discuss, unlock the door, and we'll discuss it. Elsa, I'm going to count to 3, and by God, I'm warning you, young lady, by the time I reach 3, this door better be open. 1, 2, 3. Where do we fail her?
We didn't fail her.
They're playing Here Comes the Bride downstairs, and she's barricaded in a toilet. We must have failed her.
All right, if it makes you any happier, we failed her.
You dream and you hope, and your whole life is dedicated to this day, and in one click of a door, everything crumbles. Why?
It's not your fault, Roy. Stop blaming yourself.
Oh, I'm not blaming myself. I know I've done my best.
What does that mean?
It means we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We're only human. I've done my best, and we failed her.
Meaning I didn't do my best?
I didn't say that. I don't know what your best is. Only you know what your best is. Did you do your best?
Yes, I did my best.
And I did my best.
Then we both did our best.
So it's not our fault.
That's what I said before.
Unless one of us didn't do our best.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All right then, what are we gonna do?
I'm having a heart attack. You think of something.
I'm going down and tell them all.
Oh, you're going to go down and tell them that my daughter is not going to marry their son and that she's locked herself in the bathroom? Oh, you find something funny about this?
Yes, I find something funny about this. I find it funny that I hired a photographer for $300. I find it hysterical that the wedding pictures are going to be me and you in front of a locked bathroom. See that window? I'm going to open it, walk along the ledge, and get in through her bathroom window.
Are you crazy? It's 7 stories up. You'll kill yourself. He's going to fall and kill himself. That's the way my luck's been going all day. I'm not going to look. I'll just wait until I hear a scream. Hello? Oh, Mr. Eisler. Yes, we're coming. We'll be right down. Have some more hors d'oeuvres. I'm passing out. This time I'm really passing out. Oh, whoever you are, help me, please.
She locked the bathroom window, too. I had to climb in through a stranger's room. There may be a lawsuit.
Don't get her angry. Don't get her upset.
I'm hanging 7 stories high from a gargoyle, and you want me to worry about her? You know what she's doing in there? She's playing with her false eyelashes. I already made up my mind, the minute I get my hands on her, I'm going to kill her. Once I show the judge the wedding bills, no jury on earth would convict me. And if by some miracle she survives, let there be no talk of weddings. She can go into a convent.
I'll get her out. I'll get her out. door! Do you want to destroy a family? You want a scandal? Open this door!
Hey, you with the false eyelashes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wash my hands of the entire wedding. I'm going to take all of them to Central Park, and we're going to have an $8,000 picnic. I'm going down to the Oak Room and get blind. I don't mean drunk, I mean totally blind.
That's right. Run out on me. Run out on your daughter. Run out on everybody just when they need you.
You don't need me. You need a rhinoceros with a blowtorch because no one else can get into that bathroom.
I'll tell you who can get into that bathroom. Someone with love and understanding. Someone who cares about that poor kid in there who's going through some terrible decision and needs help.
Mimsy, honey, this is your daddy speaking. I want to help you, darling. We both do, but how can we help you if you won't talk to us?
Maybe she's too choked up to talk.
Mimsy, if you can hear me, knock twice for yes and once for no. Good. Now, Mimsy, we want to ask you a very, very important question. Do you want to marry Boyden or don't you?
She said yes.
She said no.
It was 2 knocks. 2 knocks is yes. She wants to marry him.
It wasn't a double yes knock. It was 2 single no knocks. She doesn't want to marry him.
Don't tell me she doesn't want to marry him. Mimsy, what did you say, yes or no? All right, there it is, in plain English. You never could talk to your own daughter. Mimsy, do you want me to come in and talk to you? It says, I'd rather talk to Daddy.
I won't be long.
I would rather talk to Daddy? Well, maybe I didn't do my best. I tried to do everything right. I tried to teach her that there could be more than just love between a mother and daughter. Just because I don't speak to my mother doesn't mean we can't be different.
The green room, please. Mr. Borden Eisler. Thank you. Borden, Mr. Hubley, can you come up to room 719? Yes, now. She wanted to talk to me alone because she couldn't bear to say it to both of us at the same time. The reason she's locked herself in the bathroom is she's afraid of what they're going to become.
What's there to be afraid of? What are they going to become? They love each other, they'll get married, they'll have children, they'll grow older, they'll become like us. I never thought about that.
Makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
I don't think we're so bad, do you? All right, so we yell and scream a little, so we fight and curse and aggravate each other, so you blame me for being a lousy mother and I accuse you of being a rotten husband. It doesn't mean we're not happy, does it?
She wants something better.
Hi.
Hello, Borden.
Hello, darling.
Borden, you're an intelligent young man. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We have a serious problem here on our hands.
How so?
Mimsy is worried about your future together, about the whole institution of marriage. We've tried to ease her fears, but obviously we haven't set a very good example. It seems you're the only one who can communicate with her. She's locked herself in the bathroom. It's up to you now.
Mimsy, this is Borden. Borden, cool it. I'll see you downstairs.
Ready now.
Now you're ready? Now you come out.
Roy, please.
I break every bone in my body and you come out for cool it?
You're beautiful, darling. Walk with your father. I want to look at both of you.
That's how he communicates? That's the brilliant understanding between two people? Cool it? What kind of a person is that to let your daughter marry?
Roy, don't aggravate me. I'm warning you. Don't spoil this perfect day for
Kids
me.
today, they don't care. Not like they did in my day.
I'm warning you. Walk. Will you walk? In 5 minutes, he's going to marry the flower girl.
Crazy. I must be out of my mind. A boy like that, she was better off in the bathroom, you hear me? Better off in the bathroom.
Woo-hoo! Okay, director's up.
One more.
One more. Okay.